Hello, and welcome to yet another completely unprofessional unboxing as I continue to take a look at some of the things that arrived while I was away at GenCon. And this one right here is extra special. This is one that I've been waiting for a bit now. Not for it to arrive because as of late, DriveThruRPG seems to be cranking out PODs at an alarming rate. I mean, some things getting out, even hardbacks, in under 2 weeks. Which is quite a surprise and quite a change from how, they used to operate during the pandemic and even beforehand. Nothing really got to your house or to your hands too quickly in regards to things from DriveThruRPG. They usually give the standard 4 to 6 week response. Doesn't matter what you order, and it tends to fall within that realm, or tended to. But now, this particular item arrived right after I left for GenCon, maybe less than a week after I ordered it. Well, not less than a week, but maybe just over a week and a half. But anyways, it arrived very quickly and have been anxiously awaiting to take a look at it. And so, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this wonderful product here and see what has got me so excited. We do have my trusty Coleman camping steak knife here, but I don't think we're going to need it for this. This looks like this is going to be easy to open. So here we go. And let's see if I can do it without causing too much shaking. Well, maybe not. Yeah. There we go. Yep. Shaking the camera. Don't get too sick. Soon enough, I'm going to be mounting the forward-facing camera up here against the wall so it doesn't shake as much. I'm just going to lift it. Hear my dog in the background. Oh, wow. It is actually two things. So, yeah, we get a little double page through of some exciting items here from some friends of mine. So, what we have here is we have the Grindhouse Volume 2. This here is by Alex Guollotte and Ian Christiansen of Highway of Blood fame and other wonderful Chaosium entries that tend to focus upon the Grindhouse aesthetic, and brought to you by Critical Hit Publishing. And beneath that, not to diminish this, I'm very excited about this, but also something I'll announce regarding this once I am concluded here, is Bud from BudsRPG Reviews Viral Redacted, his soon-to-be platinum bestseller on DriveThruRPG, and a wonderful, fantastic scenario that, even though I didn't have any hands in creating it, was very lucky enough to play test it in its current incarnation, and likewise its prior incarnation when it was originally conceived as a scenario for Paul Michener's Liminal RPG. But this is one of the ones that that I've been looking forward to get. Now, fair warning, as stated, both Alex, Ian, and Bud have become very good friends of mine over the past couple of years. So there's going to be a quite a bit of bias involved in my page through of this. Likewise, my my assistance in play helping it, my memories of how wonderful the game is, but with due cause. This is not going to be your general kind of nepotism. There'll just probably be a little bit of extra gushing over what a fantastic game Viral and likewise the Grindhouse trilogy set of games are. So for now, I'm going to set the Grindhouse aside. We'll get to that in just a second. And we're going to take a look at Viral Unredacted. This is essentially the what would be considered the director's cut from the original PDF. And excuse me. Oh boy, do I have anything to drink? Oh, I got a little bit of something here, so hopefully. Oh well, I will power through it. So, Viral Unredacted. It's a Call of Cthulhu modern scenario that, generally speaking, deals with a group of ghost hunters who arrive on an island in Italy, and chaos and Cthulhu-esque crazy happenings occur, and it's one of those where I don't really want to spoil it because this is something that should be experienced by everyone, in my opinion. It has received rave reviews, and has also had quite an impact on at those at Chaosium that they've even taken notice of it also. But anyways, I'll just read the description on the back here. The hands. We are the Spectral Crew. The Spectral Crew is the set of ghost hunters that your characters end up playing with the pre-gens that are included with the scenario. We are the Spectral Crew, and we go places and do things that you would never do, by Marco Proudfoot. Producers of a popular ghost hunting YouTube channel called Spectral Crew are planning to illegally visit Isola di Malamente, an island off the Italian coast, to broadcast live as they attempt to uncover evidence of a genuine haunting and thus become internet sensations. All goes well until they find their ride off the island has disappeared, and they begin to see more than dust orbs and incoherently blurred photos. They will soon learn that there may be someone or something else on the island, that the history of the place may be darker than they could have ever imagined. Viral is a Call of Cthulhu scenario set in the modern area and can be played in one session or several, depending on how the keeper wants to run it. It has been designed to use the 5 pre-generated characters provided, but there are suggestions for using alternate investigators. And I got to say, the pre-gens for this are fantastic. I know a lot of people, kind of shy away from pre-gens unless, it's something at a con game where they're pretty necessary. But just totally absorbing the characters that are designed in here was such a wonderful thing to do. I had the privilege of playing Marco Proudfoot in the Liminal game, and I got to tell you, playing a self-absorbed, asshole of your typical YouTube bro ghost hunter was a lot of fun, and likewise, playing his his kind of sniveling little laxspittle who would do anything to keep the YouTube channel from failing was another fun character to play within Viral when I played it in its Call of Cthulhu Incarnation. So we'll take a little look at this and see what's inside. So this is slightly different than the original PDF that came out. There's some things added to it. I couldn't tell you. I'm probably new at one point in time if there was any major changes to it, but Seth Skorkowski here, reviewed the PDF after playing it with Bud online, and gave a few suggestions, which I know that Bud and Alex took to heart to a certain degree. But special thanks to Seth Skorkowski in creating this unredacted version of Viral. We've taken some of your cool ideas, filed out the serial numbers, and made them our own. So so some changes have been made. And then here we are. So we got writing by Alex Guollotte and Bud's RPG Review. Illustrations, design, and layout by Alex Giott, which, once again, I'll point out, not only is Alex a very talented writer, he's a very, very talented illustrator, designer, and also layout designer. So it shows in here, and his talents are seen elsewhere in other people's games. So definitely check him out. And then we have editing by Matthew Pook. Who's that? I don't know. Additional editing by Keith Magoo? Mr. Magoo? I don't know who that is either. And then language consultant Luca Alexander Volpino, who they consulted in order to get certain aspects of the Italian language utilized, I believe, and also some of the cultural things in regards to aspects within the island itself and what takes place there and what happens afterwards. And then we have the play testers. So we have a bunch of people here. Let's see here. No. Okay, Skorkowski, whatever. Simon, Paul Frick. Who? I don't know who these people. Here we are. Me, right here. Scott Orcus Jost. All these other people, I'll just color them out with a Sharpie. So rolling into it, we have an introduction here in regards to the Spectral Crew. And once again, pointing back to Alex, he designed the logo here. And you can find T-shirts with the logo. You can find ID cards for a lanyard. and other aspects on Alex's is it Redbubble site? One of the two. I'll put a link into the description. But if you really want to immerse yourself in this game, you can definitely pick up shirts, patches, and other things to kind of help add a little bit of a to the game if you decide to play it. We have a warning here. This is a warning in regards to things that occur within a horror game, and also I think it also includes details on how a keeper should run this particular game utilizing the Call of Cthulhu rules. Nice set of contents, and then we go into the introduction of the game. I'll read the introduction real quick. Producers of a popular ghost hunting YouTube channel called Spectral Crew are planning to illegally visit the Isola de Malamente, an island off the coast of Sicily, to broadcast live as they attempt to uncover evidence of a genuine haunting and thus become internet sensations. All goes well until they find that the ride of the island... Okay, that's essentially what I read on the back. Okay, well, there you go. Marco Proudfoot Maglione is the lead investigator, and as mentioned, he's propped up as being this typical kind of just totally self-absorbed internet, influencer of sorts who has picked up the mantle of the ghost hunter, but not the New Jersey plumber ghost hunter, but the neck tattoo, and bicep tattoo wearing people that tend to have followed after that just to kind of ride the coattails. And you are really, really, provided a great foundation to play this, to take a moment and play just a giant douchebag within this game. And it was such a joy to just, embrace and let release, some of the inner douchiness that all of us have inside of us in one form or another, and not have any sort of, ramifications in regards to that other than to your player characters. So he's one of the pre-gens that you can play. We have Corina Trench. Corina Trench is the spiritual advisor of the Spectral Crew, and all of these have little minor backgrounds on how to play them, and they all, like in good Call of Cthulhu style, they all have a special secret that they tend to keep to themselves that may or may not emerge through the course of the game, depending who's playing it and how things roll out. But each one of these people on the surface seem perfectly fine, but deep down inside within the game, there's something that may creep up while you're rolling around the island. We have Enoch Jeremiah Eakins. He is the what is he? Let's see. He is the bodyguard and lead investigator. Aside from Marco, let's see here. What was Enoch? I played Enoch. I should know this. Did I play Enoch? No, someone else played Enoch. Okay, so Enoch is one of the Ohio. His community thought he was touched by the devil. He's absolutely bare of a man and hired by Marco as a bodyguard and investigator, just in case they get in danger with people, as opposed to the supernatural. As despite being quite a kind soul, he is physically very intimidating. Okay, so just kind of like the Marco's right-hand man. We have Peter Wharton. Let's see here. Peter Wharton is, let's see here. He's their tech lead, I believe, dealing with, or their cameraman, one of the two. So he is another one. So I think he's kind of tends to be behind the scenes, but like the others, he does have his deep, dark secret. We have Ku Hyun, pronounced Hyun, sorry. Let's see here. Hyun is the tech guy. So Peter, cameraman. Hyun is the tech guy. Next we have Maya Adeduan. She is the editor and producer for the show. And then we have Emily M. Levine. Let's see here. And, oh, that's right. Emily M. Levine is the super fan. That this is an optional NPC that may or may not show up in your game. And she's also one that could be an absolute joy to play as a keeper. All right. So there's also additional information here on how to create new investigators. The scenario itself is a bit tailored towards the pre-gens, but nothing really is set in cement that requires you to play them, which is a good sign of any scenario. It doesn't matter if it's Call of Cthulhu. A bit here about the gear that is carried and the details and information therein. A detailed timeline, a history of what actually has occurred on the island, and then we get into the scenario itself. Actually, no. One Night in Perla, I believe, is a prologue. That's right. I think this is something that was included in this particular version, where you in addition to having the extra changes to the rules in some parts of the game, you also get a prologue to the scenario to play out, which should be interesting. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet because I just got this. So let me move that up a little bit and over, and we'll move the mouse out of the way. There we go. That's a little better. Anyways, so I won't go into any details of this. Obviously, spoilers. I am opening an adventure here, so if you didn't figure that out by now, I don't, come on. This should be obvious at this point in time in this day and age. If someone opens up an adventure and you don't want to know about it, just press pause or stop. All right. So that's quite a bit. That's quite a nice little add-on to the introductory, prologue. Sorry, I can't talk today. It's a nice little extra scenario here. Several pages of a prologue leading up to Isola di Malamente. So if I'm not mistaken also, don't quote me on this, but I believe those who bought the PDF, the one before they came out with Redacted, I think you were provided a free update too. But I don't know how long that lasts, but for those of you who did, I believe Alex made that available for everyone at one point in time. Okay, so we get into the nuts and bolts of the scenario. As we flip through it, we get to see, a lot of the design layout and also the illustrations Alex provided and mocked up and worked up for the scenario. The illustrations within the game are fantastic. And also additionally, when you buy this, I believe a lot of the handouts included with this are provided as a separate PDF, so you can print those out individually. And like anything, if you wanted to, add some of the wonderful illustrations within here to provide as, leads into the imagination and the immersion of the game. Like I said, I can't talk. These photos on the PDF could easily be copied and printed out full page. All right, so going on into this, and as you see, this is more of a keeper thing, but the keeper notes are highlighted in blue, which is great. It draws your eyes right to it. And then possible visions from the site for the one player character who may have the sight if they're playing within the game, what they see. And then we have a darker hue here for things to do with the live stream, which is an ongoing event within the scenario. And let's see here. And then we have the conclusion here. Once again, if you don't want spoilers, don't look at it. Look away. And we have a nice close-up of an Italian jet. Okay? It's been proven that's an Italian military jet. And then some information here for how to conclude with a more cinematic ending. And then some additional stuff here for an expanded ending, which is nice. Extra options are always good. And then we have the appendix closing off here in the back with, additional with random encounters. We have the new rules here that are included, with the site. There's one thing I'll point out, and this, I don't know if this particular if this is indicative of a lot of other games, but for the games that I've seen with that Alex has provided, whether it be solo or with Ian through Critical Hit, whether it be Highway of Blood, the Carnival of Madness, and so on. They always included. There always seems to be either additional rules in there that to help supplement your Call of Cthulhu game, or modifications of existing rules that add a little oomph to what's already being provided by Chaosium, which once again is always a welcome thing to behold and see. And then so taint, insanity, and bouts of madness that are specific to the game, and paranormal phenomena that are specific to the game, and a listing of the new horrors that you'll find on the island. We have Mythos tomes and new spells, which is always great. And then here we have the player handouts. There's a reference sheet here, site player reference sheet, which is helpful for those who want to portray the site more than just something that is read off of a sheet by the keeper. And how to be a ghost hunter, getting into the mindset. Yeah, very, very helpful. For those of you who weren't inundated with the dozens and dozens of ghost hunting reality shows that came out in the early 2000s. And then we have handouts so a cell phone plays a big part within a game, whether it be emails or updates from the producer of the YouTube channel. There's a map here with notes, a photocopy from Maya, the producer, regarding the hospital that you will find on the island. A bit of information on Corina's research, Marco's intro script that really needs to be read with a lot of emphasis on how wonderful, beautiful, and fantastic he is. As far as he's concerned. There's a picture of the lighthouse and Hyun's iPads. And then as far as what plays out when the scenario begins, in regards to the iPads that are being utilized within the game to either capture images or stream what is being found, and then additional information in regards to other handouts. And okay, so you don't necessarily need to print out the smaller pictures. Alex has provided it as large handouts, which are great. And once again, spoilers. And then Cremation Pit, Lemon Grove, a lot of the locations within here. So I'm just going to kind of flip by this rather quickly. And then after that, we have the Keeper maps with more spoiler information. And then we have a nice set of character sheets for the NPCs. Not the NPCs, sorry. The player characters that you can play within the book. Let's see. I'm just going to read you a description of Marco. Marco is muscular with sweat black hair. He dresses very fashionably and usually wears a pair of cool shades. He wears a Gucci black leather jacket at all times in any weather, probably a knockoff, unless he has a chance to show his guns, of course. Marco is an absolute believer in demons and often claims that everything is demonic. He claims to be of Native American heritage. He is 1/16 Cherokee on his father's side and has adopted the name Proudfoot to sound more mysterious. Traits. Marco is a narcissist. No shit. If there's a mirror, he's checking himself out. He comes from a rich family who fund his every whim, so he tends to throw money at problems. So as stated, I mean, you just read this, and you can just play him as this totally oblivious narcissist that even though he seems to think that that everything is demonic, as the reality of what's occurring around the island occurs, that he just still remains completely oblivious and centered on purely himself, as things tend to go south, until the very end. It is. It was fun to play, as I've heard from other people who got to play Marco in other play tests. So carrying on, and here we go. So as mentioned earlier, things that you can get for the game. So there's a Spectre Crew T-shirt, a hat, a patch, a badge, and a Cry Corina Cry T-shirt. Oh, that's funny. Oh, a bit of an inside joke. Now you two can be one of the crew. No, not you, Emily. Only available at Zazzle. Okay, there we go. So I'll link that in the description. And there we go. So that is it in a nutshell. I have zero complaints about what's inside the book. The layout looks fantastic. The color that as it was printed out by drive-through came out really well. Easy to read. Font is perfect. Everything just kind of glides along and captures your eye as you go through the scenario. Illustration's fantastic. The handouts are large and easy to read. As and even if there may be something that's handwritten, it's still easy to read. As can be an issue with a lot of the Call of Cthulhu handouts, especially those who tend to like to use penmanship from back in the day, which can be very difficult to read, especially if the handouts are very small. The only thing I just noticed, which is this is no fault of Bud or Alex, is it seems like the cover is a bit off center of the book. So it's definitely not a deal breaker for me, but I may reach out to Drive-Thru and just kind of say what the hey. And maybe if they will replace it, I can gift this to someone or give it to my son or one of his friends, because this type of scenario for Call of Cthulhu would be something that I think is right up a lot of the younger Call of Cthulhu players' alleys, as far as if you want to get some younger players interested in Call of Cthulhu without having to worry about a lot of the things that you have to deal with when dealing with older settings like 1920s or whatever. This you don't, my son and his friends would be very familiar with a lot of the aspects that are in this game, in this scenario, and should be able to play it out without ease, without having to worry about, does this, fall into, can this actually happen in the 1920s? So yeah, fun for all ages, from 8 to 80. If you're 81, fuck off. Just kidding. But anyways, so there we go. That is Viral Unredacted. I'm going to take a moment here to take a look at the Grindhouse now. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. And this right here is Volume 2 of a currently 3-volume set of what is the Grindhouse double feature series that was written by Alex Guollotte and Ian Christiansen from who together form Critical Hit Publishing. I've discovered them when I discovered Highway of Blood, which is an excellent scenario. It's kind of there's all of their not current games, but most of their games, Highway of Blood, and most of their games thereafter kind of take place in a 1970s to early 80s era and follow a very Grindhouse aesthetic, as provided by a lot of the inspirational movies here. The Hills Have Eyes, Race with the Devil, newer ones like Death Proof, It's Alive, Switchblade Sisters. Wow. I Drink Your Blood. Jeez, it's been a while. And so on. And, and likewise, you see a lot of The Hills Have Eyes and Highway of Blood, but we're focusing on the Grindhouse right here. So, inspired to be like a Grindhouse double feature of old. Each one, I believe, has at least 2. I don't know if there's 3 scenarios in some, but as you can see, it's very similar in the format that Alex has shown in Viral and his other games, and with with certain things within the scenario that are not just bullet pointed but blocked out to draw your eyes to it a lot easier. Let's see here. What is Dark Blood? And what they provided in these particular scenarios are a listing of descriptions to give you an idea of what the game is. And these are very useful. This is something that in the day and usage of safety tools, that this right here can pretty much guarantee that the people who are joining your game are going to be up for this or not. And granted, I'm not advocating, against the uses of safety tools, but, if people sign on for body horror, inbreeding, and violence against children, these things possible within the game, you as a keeper can focus more on the game itself, as opposed to, doing the due diligence that you need to do, obviously, but doing the extra lifting that would be involved if you're not entirely sure that someone at your table is for something like this, or you haven't made it clear that this is within the game itself in case you miss something. And, that's just extra attention that you have to provide to your players that can be better utilized to provide, the sense of the game itself and the immersion that you're trying to give to the people playing at your table. But yeah, right. Clearly stated here, body horror, inbreeding, violence against children. And if any of these 3 items aren't for you, then that would be something you just go, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I will move on to a different game that I enjoy. Or as a keeper, if you're offering this to your players and one of them says, no, thank you. Well, I guess we'll save this for another day and see if we can find something else. So this I really like, and it's succinct. It's to the point, and it's clear that these things are going to be touched up on within the game and not going to sneak out and surprise you as a keeper and your players in case you accidentally overlook something. So we have the Dark Brood. The scenario takes place in July of 1977 at a sleepaway summer camp, as they tend to do. The counselors are shorthanded due to transportation issues, but by the third day, everything seems to be going smoothly apart from the normal bouts of homesickness and poison ivy. Unfortunately, everything takes a downward turn on the fourth day when the kids begin complaining of nausea and cramps. The counselors decide to give the kids something to settle their stomachs and send them to bed early, convinced that everything will be better in the morning. They couldn't be more wrong. I mean, to me, I'm hooked right there. If I was a player, let's see how it plays out at Camp Echo Lake. Geez, I need to move this up a little bit more, or I need to fix my camera. Sorry if I've been keeping it down here. I'm not really paying attention to Mr. Screen over here as I should. So, all right, and what is part 2 of the Grindhouse movie feature? So we have Jackknife. We have gore, extreme violence, and adult language. So once again, it's fairly clear what you're going to be up against. This one may not be as extreme as the other one because some of those things in the prior adventure may be a bit more touchy subjects for people. But there's people who have issues against gore, even extreme violence. I mean, it is a Call of Cthulhu game, but sometimes a lot of the violence that occurs within Call of Cthulhu is can be kind of hand wiped or whatever, or whatever. I'm not thinking. And adult language. I mean, that's another thing. Some people objectively have issues with overtly coarse language, not the occasional F-bomb or the S-bomb, but something within this game tells me that there's going to be a lot of additional language or language that's not suitable for children, so to speak. So Jackknife, making the long haul across the New Mexico desert with a load of lumber, Jackknife Samson decides to pick up some desperate-looking hitchhikers. But he gets more trouble than he bargained for when they find themselves being hunted by a cult of psychotic snake worshippers from hell. Once again, sold. I mean, it's the simple setups that tend to hook me. It doesn't take much. I don't need a 3-page synopsis of what's going to happen. Just tell me within a single paragraph if you can, and if it sounds like fun, I'm on board. And so there you go. And then along with some additional information, let's see, what are these? Okay, so these are the NPCs. There's a little map of the inside of the truck, along with the side view and top view of the truck. So I kind of have a general idea of what might be happening in this particular scenario. And likewise, the Dark Brood. So that is Grindhouse. This particular series, I believe Alex is working on combining them into a giant, well, not giant, but into an anthology of all of the adventures into a single book. And he recently posted online a mock-up of what the cover might be. So look forward to that. And of course, with most things that he tends to do, he did mention that not only will you get all 3 volumes in there, but once again, if you've already purchased it, there'll be extras in there to entice you in case, some people's like, oh, hey, I have the PDF. Why do I need to get the physical book when the PDF's just fine? Well, the new edition or the physical book is going to have extras. So, it's a little bit of a thank you for those who previously bought it and maybe spending the money to buy it a second time. And that never happens in this hobby. No one, buys and rebuys, same adventures, core rulebooks or stuff just because, Malibu Barbie has a new dress. Anyways, so that was the Grindhouse Volume 2. I'll post links also in the description regarding this. So definitely check out, Alex and Ian's work. You can, search for them by Critical Hit Publishing on Drive-Thru. They have many other options for you to check out. And also, we have Viral Unredacted by Bud from RPG Review and Alex Guollotte. And there you go. Yeah, you know, two fantastic Call of Cthulhu offerings that you can pick up. Both affordable, both fantastic, and both, you know, giving you many new options to run and enjoy, you know, your Call of Cthulhu game if you're looking for something different than the standard 1920s setting. So I'm Scott, and this has been yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. And also check me out on Twitter Pigs, the Tabletop RPG podcast with Keith from Rolling Boxcars. And we're going to be having new podcasts hopefully coming out soon as we review the picks from the Ennies and we go over what our predictions were from a previous podcast with Bud from Bud RPG's Review, Pookie from Reviews from Relay, and Debbie, a super Savage Worlds fan, and see if they match up and see if we agree with how the awards turned out. So thank you so much, and I hope you have an excellent day. And let's see if I can find the button quicker this time. And there we go. Take care.